You get home, you lie down, phone on your chest, and instead of just letting the night be what it was, you start the debrief. Not out loud, inside. You replay what you said, how you laughed, whether you came across as too eager or not warm enough or too much of something you can't quite name. You were not thinking about whether you liked them. You were thinking about whether they liked you. And the worst part is, it was a good night. By most measures, a really good night. But here you are at midnight, running the whole thing back, looking for the moment you might have slipped. Here's what that feeling actually is. It is not excitement. It is not even anxiety exactly. It is the specific exhaustion of having been present in your body, but absent from yourself. You were there, laughing, asking questions, tracking every small shift in their energy. But there is a part of you that did not show up at all. The part that has opinions you did not voice because you were not sure how they would land. The part that wanted to say something slightly strange or honest or unpolished, but held it back and said something safer instead. And when you get home and the performance ends, you feel it, this hollow quiet, like you gave a lot and received nothing, not because they were unkind, but because the person in the room was not quite you. You curated yourself so thoroughly that even if they liked what they saw, they liked a version, and some part of you knows that, which is why the debrief starts. You go back through the night looking for evidence of their approval because the interaction itself did not fill you up. It could not have. And now you are trying to extract something from the memory that was never there to begin with. If that's familiar, stay with me, because what comes next is the part that actually explains it. This is where it gets harder, because this did not start with them. The habit of monitoring how you land, of adjusting in real time based on someone else's micro reactions, that is not a relationship problem. That is something older. At some point, probably long before this person, love felt like something you had to earn rather than something you simply had. Maybe it was inconsistent, warm sometimes and then distant without warning. And your mind, because it is very good at keeping you safe, learned to watch for the signals, to stay one step ahead of disappointment by being exactly what was needed before the need was even spoken. That is a smart strategy when you are younger and do not have many options, but it follows you into the apartment, into the date, into the midnight debrief. Be honest, you are not just trying to be a good partner, you are auditioning, and part of you has known that for a while. The painful irony is that it keeps you from the very thing you are chasing. Because if you are always performing, always calibrating, always shrinking or expanding yourself to fit the room, the person on the other side of the table never meets you. They meet the performance, and no amount of their approval can fill the space that costs you, because the approval is not landing on anything real. Here's the part most people skip. The opposite of performing is not being careless or difficult or deliberately unfiltered. It is not showing up to a first date and announcing every complicated thing about yourself. It is something quieter than that. It is letting a thought exist in the room before you decide whether it is acceptable. It is saying something honest and then sitting with the minor discomfort of not knowing exactly how it landed. It is noticing mid-conversation, the moment you start editing yourself for someone else's comfort, and asking, is this me being thoughtful or is this me disappearing? Ask yourself this, honestly. In your last 3 interactions with this person, how many of your responses were true? And how many were calculated to land well? If you cannot remember the last time you said something real without auditing it first, that is the answer. Because here's what becomes possible when you stop performing. The people who stay are staying for you, not for the most agreeable version of you, not for the version that laughs at the right moments and never takes up too much space, for you. And that means when they like you, you can actually feel it. It lands somewhere. The move isn't about being less for someone. It's about bravely becoming more of yourself, even if it costs you the version of the relationship that only existed because you kept making yourself smaller to fit it. Some connections will not survive that, and that information is also an answer. So tonight, when you are lying there with your phone on your chest and the debrief starts, try something different. Instead of asking whether they approved of you, ask whether you recognized yourself in the night. Not perfectly, not bravely, just were you in there somewhere? Was there a moment, even one, when you said something true without calculating the return? If yes, hold that. That is the thread. You follow it, not by becoming someone who says everything they think without care, but by slowly, incrementally, trusting that the real version of you is not a liability in connection. It is the only version that can actually make contact. The exhaustion you have been feeling is not the cost of loving someone. It is the cost of the performance. And when you let the performance down, even slightly, even imperfectly, what replaces it is not vulnerability or risk or some dramatic exposure. It is just a little more you. Less performed, more honest, more you. That is the only thing that could ever actually be enough. Not because it earns approval, but because it stops needing it.